new deal has been brokered between the U.S. and Ukraine. The details on what each country will gain and political leaders' response.
The city of Kent may stop closing down Franklin Avenue for the summer. Find out how local businesses react to the news.
New developments in the wrongful deportation of Abrego Garcia, what President Trump is doing in the Supreme Court's response ahead. All these stories and more as Kent Stater TV News at 6 starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County, and welcome to the last newscast of the Women in Wellman Wednesday newscast. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Lex Brady. Let's dive into some news.
Tonight is Flashes Forever Fest, celebrating the spring 2025 grads in the Mack Center tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. Grads can participate in 6 rounds of rave bingo with prizes like noise-canceling headphones, a Fitbit, or even a 65-inch Roku TV. There will be snacks and other refreshments and spots to take photos. All grads can enjoy a high-energy night to celebrate their journey at Kent State.
Tonight is the chance for you to experience diverse traditional music and dance at Kent State's World Music Concert. Students will be performing songs from Africa, Asia, and other places across the globe. The performance also features the Karnataka brothers, who have performed across prestigious audiences worldwide. The concert starts tonight at 7:30 in Ludwig Hall.
Tomorrow marks the opening of a new exhibit in Taylor Hall, Teach Peace, the life and legacy of Jerry Lewis exhibit. It honors Jerry Lewis, a former sociology professor at Kent State who witnessed May 4th and dedicated his career to teaching and researching the events that occurred. The exhibit is open through June 3rd and is a part of the events memorializing the 50th anniversary of the shooting.
The unveiling of an original peace mural opens tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the School of Peace and Conflict Studies. The Artists of the Peace, Biztat and Friends, features students from a Stark County Educational Service Center course led by Jay Lydell. The event is part of the May 4th Education Community Programming and sponsored by the School of Peace and Conflict Studies.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
Hello and good evening. We've had some ups and downs in terms of temperatures this past week, and the roller coaster is still rolling, but with the added risk of rain and thunderstorms. Looking outside our windows, we don't have that coming towards our way just yet. It is currently 69 degrees as the sun is starting to go down. It is partly cloudy outside and still warm. As I had mentioned, we are experiencing that heightening of temperatures going from spring into summer. The wind's only going south about 2 miles per hour, and your current moon phase is a waxing crescent. Tomorrow, we have a high of 78 degrees. It is going to be warm. It's going to be cloudy in the morning, and there is a chance of scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon, but that chance is only at about 47% across the area. The winds are going to be high as a result, going southbound at 14 miles per hour, and your sunset is at 8:22 p.m. Now going into my on-campus forecast for tomorrow, it's going to be partly cloudy at 8 a.m. There's only about a 10% chance of rain in the area, but it is still going to be cooler. So make sure you have a light jacket, a sweatshirt, something if you're going to early classes. By noon, that chance of precipitation rises to about 30%, just some isolated storms across the area, and the temperature will jump to 73. The temperature doesn't get too much higher from there. By 4 p.m. it's going to be 75 degrees, and that chance of rain and thunderstorms across the area jumps to 47% from that 30%. And there's more where that came from. Stay tuned as I take you across the state of Ohio, as well as tell you if these storms are here to stay.
Thank you, Sophia. The jury trial for suspended East Cleveland Mayor Brandon King is set to start tomorrow in the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas. Last October, King was indicted on over a dozen charges, including theft in office, having unlawful interest in a public contract. King approved city payments to businesses owned by himself and his family. He was removed from his position as mayor in January.
Norfolk Southern faces a new lawsuit from the toxic train derailment in February of 2023. The new complaint is from the East Palestine City School District, which is suing the corporation for what they claim are false promises, such as failing to fulfill their commitment to reimburse emergency response costs and for not providing housing and transportation for residents displaced. The school district is suing for $30 million.
A 24-year-old Cleveland man convicted of stealing a van from an Amazon driver and fleeing from police and crashing the van, killing a 70-year-old doctor, was sentenced this afternoon. Jalen Jackson received a sentence of 30 to 35.5 years for carjacking an Amazon van and hitting another car head-on, killing Dr. Curtis Birchall in December 2023. Jackson pled guilty to all charges in 2 other unrelated cases.
Bread sold at Giant Eagles in Ohio is being recalled after the FDA reported glass fragments being found on top of loaves. The source of the contamination was traced back to Maryland-based Upper Crust Bakery, which sold the product to 6 states, including Ohio. Giant Eagles stated in the recall notice that they have removed the product from all store shelves and have contacted customers who purchased the potentially impacted product.
The U.S. Senate is set to make a decision regarding President Trump's controversial tariffs. These national stories and more when we return.
And Gaza is getting closer and closer to experiencing famine as Israel's total blockade nears its 3rd total month. KSTV has the latest updates on the conflict.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Hi, I'm Leland Melvin, and I traveled to space twice as a NASA astronaut. Space technologies help protect our precious Earth. Space helps us monitor changes in carbon emissions, track the pace of climate change. It even helps us fight natural disasters. Make sure that you get out to your local science museum or go to spaceforall.us to explore and learn about space and science. Space is for all.
Why not crank it? It doesn't hurt anyone else. But listening too long and too loud can actually damage your hearing.
Now, 1 in 5 people 12 and older have some kind of hearing loss. So let's boogie and get those ears checked.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Welcome back. We've passed 100 days of Donald Trump's 2nd term as president, and some of his most controversial decisions are making headlines.
For more updates on these stories, we turn to Lexi Blatnick. Can you tell us more?
Hi guys, there's plenty of news surrounding President Trump, from the new duties he's introducing to his immigration policies. With this and more, here's your national news. The U.S. Senate is looking to reverse President Donald Trump's executive order. Earlier this month, Trump wrote an executive order that declared U.S. trade deficits are a threat to national security. The resolution looks to reverse this executive order and in turn choke some of Trump's tariffs. The Senate could vote as early as today on this, though the chances of it reaching Congress are low due to a rule which protects these tariffs. A federal judge ruled that Mahood Khalil can move forward with his lawsuit. Khalil says that he was illegally arrested for his political views regarding Palestine. Currently, Khalil remains at a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Louisiana. The judge says he would keep jurisdiction of the case in New Jersey federal court. His legal team has motioned to grant him bail, which is pending. President Donald Trump says his administration is unable to bring Kilmer Armando Abrego Garcia back to the United States. Garcia was detained in March after the Trump administration said he was an MS-13 gang member. The Supreme Court ruled the Trump's cabinet must help return Garcia to the U.S., but Trump says they do not have the ability since Garcia is in foreign custody. The attorney representing a boat driver involved in a deadly collision with a ferry says his client did not flee the scene. This contrasts with what Clearwater Police said in a social media post. Authorities with Florida Fish and Wildlife says there's evidence the boat driver stayed at the scene for a period of time. The collision left a 41-year-old man dead. No arrests have been made yet. Car manufacturer Stellantis halted its profitable growth forecast this year. The company struggled to see how Trump's tariffs policies will affect its profits. Stellantis officials said the company expected to make a profit in 2025 in February, though today they said the predictions were based on tariffs that were in place then. In addition to Stellantis, General Motors also says their predictions are not accurate. Ukraine's economy minister is set to sign a deal between Ukraine and the United States. The agreement between the two countries will grant Washington, D.C. access to untapped mineral sites in Ukraine. President Donald Trump says this deal can be considered as payment for the U.S. investment into Ukraine. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has plans to sign the deal in February, but did not after a tense meeting with Trump. This deal could be the first steps to ease the tensions between the European nation and the United States. The EU is a staunch supporter for Ukraine in their war with Russia. For KSTV, I'm Lexi Blatnick.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Welcome back. Behind me, I have temperatures across the state of Ohio, and you can see that we are all greatly enjoying the day today, but the temperatures are spreading pretty vastly if you go from northern to southern Ohio. Up in Toledo, it is sunny, but it is only 55 degrees, and then when you travel down to Athens, it jumps all the way up to 80. But for the most part, throughout Ohio, it's going to be the mid-60s to upper 70s as you are going through the state. Now, zooming into our neck of the woods, you're going to see a little bit more of similar temperatures. Pretty much the mid-60s and then the mid to low 50s up near the lake. You know, these heavy winds are going to cause that. 66, 64, that's pretty much the general gist that we're going to be getting here as we go into the night. Now, going into my forecast for the week. Tomorrow, it is going to be a high of 78. It's going to be hot once again. However, I am forecasting a chance of isolated storms, about a 47% chance across the area. So please be careful when you are walking across campus. Use your best judgment. On Friday, it's going to go down a little bit, and that chance of storms get a little higher. It's going to be 71 degrees as a high and a low of 53. Into the weekend, it is going to get much, much colder. It's going to only get to a high of 56, and that chance of rain jumps up to 70%. So if you have weekend plans to go check out downtown Kent or go to a farmer's market, those plans might have to get pushed back because that is going to even continue into Sunday. Granted, that percentage of rain is less, only about 43%, but it is still less, and that temperature has a high, gets even lower, only a high of 55 to start the day. On Monday, the temperatures are going to jump up a bit more. It will be a high of 65 degrees, and there is a chance of only afternoon showers. Again, 40% chance. And then by Tuesday, that chance of rain is about the same, but we will not be seeing nearly as much sun with a high of 64 degrees and a low of 50. This time next week, the sun will return. There is no substantial chance of rain, and there is a high of 68 degrees and a low of 52 on the horizon. But you might have missed a part of this forecast. If you did and you want more information on your Thursday weather, stay tuned as I'll be diving into all the details later on.
Thank you, Sophia. Now taking things abroad, starting with news in the Middle East.
With today's top international headlines, we welcome in our correspondent, Gage Wellman.
Good evening, Gage.
Yes, thank you, Lex and Liv. A new global statistic has got the world wondering if we are headed towards an arm race. In 2024, the world spent a combined $2.7 trillion in military expenses. Now that's a 9.4% increase from 2023 and the most since the end of the Cold War back in 1991. The numbers are courtesy of the Stockholm Peace Research Institute, and they are saying that an increase in spending means more funds for defense will follow. Today marks 50 years since the end of the Vietnam War back in 1975. Across Vietnam, celebration is being spread across the streets, including a military parade in Ho Chi Minh City. The end of the war was a significant event in the last 200 years of modern history that marked the reunification of North and South Vietnam. Amid Israel's ongoing blockade of resources to Gaza, the region is on the brink of famine. For nearly 2 months, Israel has not allowed any humanitarian aid or commercial goods into the Palestinian enclave, the purpose of which is to pressure the terrorist organization known as Hamas into releasing Israeli hostages. Because of this, some international organizations are accusing Israel of war crimes. And staying in the Middle East, Israel is seeking international aid to fight wildfires in Jerusalem that have injured at least 7 people. The fires have forced evacuations in several areas and major road closures. Around 120 teams are working to relieve the fires, as well as 12 firefighting aircraft units. At least 3 people were shot and killed yesterday in a shooting in Uppsala, Sweden. The 3 deaths are being investigated as homicides, as police have not yet notified the victim's next of kin. The suspect was allegedly seen fleeing the scene of the crime on an electric scooter. The motive of the suspect is unclear as of now. A woman from Australia stands accused of murdering 3 people with a meal consisting of poisonous mushrooms in 2023. The woman, identified as Erin Patterson, told the courts the deaths were purely accidental. However, Patterson previously admitted to lying to the police. Prosecutors say that she had the intention of killing. For more updates, I'll be right back. Like Sophia from Franklin Hall, I'm Gage Wellman.
The Cleveland Guardians are deep in a series with the Minnesota Twins. After falling 11-1 in the first game, will the Guards be able to bounce back in Game 2?
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero. Good job, kitty cat. When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Reach out, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
Hello, sports fans. We have a bunch of local action to cover tonight, and I'm ready to dive on into it. Taking things to the field, the Kent State baseball team capped off their 9-game homestand with a dominant 12-2 victory over Pitt Johnstown. The Flashes stole 11 bases on the night, led by Max Humphrey and Landon Tising with 3 each. Sawyer Solitaria kicked off scoring with a solo home run, followed by a big 6-1 rally in the 6th inning. Kent State heads to Ball State for a crucial 3-game series this weekend. The Kent State softball team has a doubleheader versus Toledo set for tonight. Game 1 concluded with the Rockets scoring 11 runs and the Flashes running in 4. Game 2 is happening right now at Divine Diamond, and the Flashes were able to find their rhythm and add 8 runs. The Rockets have 4. Let's hope the Flashes are able to keep this momentum to even the series 1-1. The Kent State men's golf team claimed their 29th MAC title after pulling away in the final round of the MAC championship. Jordan Galinson won the individual crown with 2 under par 70 in the 3rd round, finishing at 8 under par. Kent State finished with 16 strokes ahead of the runner-up Ball State. The team advances to the Virginia Regional, where they will compete at Polar Grove Golf Club from May 12th through May 14th. What a comeback! After a shocking 11-1 loss, the Guardians are here to redeem themselves. It's Game 2 versus the Twins, so let's get into the action. Taking things to the top of the 3rd, Bo Naylor gets the perfect pitch, and it is a goner as he is running around the bases. Stephen Kwan is now up to bat, and it looks like it's gonna go over the fence, but Nick Mears is sliding in like he's running to home plate, and he catches that ball in the nick of time. Let's take another look at that slide. The Twins are up to bat. Tanner Bybee on the mound. It is sent to the sweet spot, and Ty France sends it out to even the score. And one lucky fan is heading home with that homer ball. Bottom of the 9th, and we are so close to going to overtime, but Kyle Manzardo saves the day for the Guards. What a comeback after getting defeated 11-1. The Guards have exactly what they need to go on with the series tonight, but you'll hear more about that later on. That's all I have for you now, but if you would like to take a deep dive in the sports around the country, I'll be back. Until then, I'm Jordan Hiles.
Thanks, Jordan. A controversial decision in downtown Kent has some businesses on Franklin Avenue worried for the summer ahead. Our reporter, Cindy Brown, has more.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
Coming up on the back half of KSTV News at 6, new developments in the wrongful deportation of Abrego Garcia, what President Trump is doing, and the Supreme Court's response ahead.
The recent federal ruling on a pro-Palestinian activist over organizing Columbia campus protests supporting Gaza. We have what the ruling was and what's next for Mahmoud Khalil.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County, and welcome back to the last newscast of the Women in Wellman Show. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Lex Rady. Let's dive into some news.
We start with controversy in downtown Kent over City Council potentially reopening Franklin Avenue for the summer season.
That's right, Liv. A lot of local businesses along the road are frustrated by the talk. Our reporter Sydney Brown is here in studio to tell us more.
That's right. This week, local businesses learned that Franklin Avenue may not close off as a pedestrian space. The historic brick road in downtown is where many downtown events happen, but also brings a lot of families to Kent for the designated outdoor refreshment space. But these businesses took to social media and are sharing their thoughts on what the summer could look like.
Franklin Avenue for the past 5 years is closed off and open for pedestrians in the summer. But local businesses found out this week that the street may not be closing. According to the city, Main Street Kent presented a dozen complaints of businesses who reported their sales dropped off this time of year.
Coincidentally, 25 to 30,000 students, faculty, and staff at Kent State go home that same weekend because it's graduation weekend. We all face that battle with Kent State.
The survey done by Main Street Kent did not include businesses along Franklin Avenue.
To not be included in the conversation is why I got fired up about it, why I went to the other business owners and started stirring the pot a wee bit on social media.
Locals heard about the debate from Taco Tonto's social media. In their restaurant, a petition has pages of signatures in support of the street closing down this summer.
I've had people come in, literally just come in and sign it and walk out. Like, I don't even say anything. So it seems like the word is spreading, and it seems like people are really passionate about it.
The decision to keep the street open this summer is up to the city. Kent City Manager Dave Ruler told KSTV it's up to the council to decide to change the use of the street or not, but they're happy to work with the businesses and residents. Anticipating large outdoor crowds again this summer on Franklin Avenue, all along this street, many businesses say they've been preparing, hiring more workers, and even turning down other events to be prepared for the season. But this could all look very different after next week's committee council meeting.
I think everybody's got to understand we're not all competing. We're just all here to draw people in and have an atmosphere that's really conducive to the city and community and everything.
The discussion with the committee council is a week from today, but in my phone call with Ward 5 Councilwoman Heidi Schaefer-Bish, she said it is likely a decision would be made at the meeting. You can learn more about this story later tonight on KentStater.com. Kent Stater TV News, Sydney Brown.
Thank you, Sydney. Tonight is Flashes Forever Fest, celebrating the spring 2025 grads in the Mack Center from 7 to 9 p.m. Grads can participate in 6 rounds of rave bingo with prizes like noise-canceling headphones, a Fitbit, or even a 65-inch Roku TV. There will be snacks and other refreshments and spots to take photos. All grads can enjoy a high-energy night to celebrate their journey at Kent State.
In about half an hour, Kent State students will be performing traditional music and dance at the World Music Concert. For one night, audience members can experience melodies from Africa, Asia, and other cultures across the globe. The event starts at 7:30 and wraps up around 9:30. You can find tickets at kent.edu.
Tomorrow marks the opening of a new exhibit in Taylor Hall. Teach Peace, the Life and Legacy of Jerry Lewis exhibit. It honors Jerry Lewis, a former sociology professor at Kent State who witnessed May 4th and dedicated his career to teaching and researching the events that occurred. The exhibit is open through June 3rd and is a part of the events memorializing the 55th commemoration of the shooting.
Kent State's School of Peace and Conflict is hosting a peace mural exhibit unveiling tomorrow at 11 a.m. The artists of the mural, Biztat and Friends, are also revealing the mural via live stream for people to tune in online. KSTV will have continuous coverage on that event tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
Hello everyone. Earlier on in the program, I broke down the weather for this week, and there is a great deal of rain coming our way. I do want to start us off on a sunny note before we talk about the rain, so let's look outside our windows right now as Kent, Ohio is looking beautiful at this time of evening. It is currently 69 degrees, partly cloudy and warmer as the sun starts to go down this evening. Wind is only going northbound at 2 miles per hour, and your current moon phase is in waxing crescent, with the new full moon happening just 12 days from now. going into my forecast for tomorrow, this is where the rain's going to begin. It's going to be cloudy in the morning with a chance of scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon going into the evening and tomorrow night. There's a 47% chance of this happening in the area, and the winds are going to be picking up as a result. They'll be going southbound at 14 miles per hour, and your sunset is at 8:22 p.m. Diving into specifically what that's going to look like for you tomorrow at 8 a.m. If you have an earlier class, rain will not be a concern for you. There's only about a 10% chance of precipitation, and it will be partly cloudy but still cooler as the sun begins to rise. So if you have an early class like I do, make sure you have a sweatshirt, a sweater, just something you can throw on and then take off as you go throughout campus later on. Speaking of later on, by noon it's going to jump up to 73 degrees. That percentage of storms is going to be going up to about 30%, so still not super high, but something to take in mind as storms can be very severe, especially if you're walking across campus. By 4 p.m., the temperature does not go up that much more, only to 75 degrees, but that chance of storms does continue up to 47%. So there is a very big deal of storms coming our way, and there's more of them where that came from. Stay tuned because I'll be telling you how likely they are to arrive and give you a bird's eye view into the weather for finals week.
Thank you, Sophia. The jury trial for suspended East Cleveland Mayor Brandon King is set to start tomorrow in the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas. Last October, King was indicted on over a dozen charges, including theft in office and having unlawful interest in a public contract. King approved city payments to businesses owned by himself and his family. He was removed from his position as mayor in January.
East Palestine school districts have filed a $30 million lawsuit against Norfolk Southern. The superintendent of the school district claims that Southern Norfolk has, quote, repeatedly failed to compensate the school district after more than 2 years since the train derailment. Norfolk Southern says that they have remained committed to meeting the community's priorities.
A 24-year-old Cleveland man convicted of stealing a van from an Amazon driver, fleeing police, and then crashing the van, killing a 7-year-old doctor, was sentenced this afternoon. Jalen Jackson received a sentence of 30 to 35 and a half years for carjacking an Amazon van and hitting another car head-on, killing Dr. Curtis Birchall in December 2023. Jackson pled guilty to all charges as well as 2 other unrelated cases.
Bread sold in Ohio and 5 other states have been recalled after the FDA received reports of glass fragments found on top of the bread. A list of retailers where the recalled bread was sold at was not provided, but Giant Eagle confirmed that the impacted products were sold in all Ohio Giant Eagle and Market District bakeries under the labels Giant Eagle Multigrain Sourdough or Market District Sourdough.
Car maker Stellantis is slamming the brakes on forecasting any growth due to President Trump's tariffs. The details and how other auto giants are responding.
Today marks the 50th anniversary since the end of the Vietnam War. We have how the country is honoring the lives lost while celebrating their freedom.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agreed, the scammers are out of control.
Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work and it's great. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to cisa.gov/secure-our-world.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Welcome back. We've passed 100 days of Donald Trump's second term as president, and some of his controversial decisions are making headlines.
For more updates on these stories, we turn to Lexi Blatnick. Lexi, what can you tell us?
Hi guys, there's plenty of news surrounding President Trump, from the new duties he's introducing to his immigration policy. With this and more, here's your national news. The U.S. Senate is looking to reverse President Donald Trump's executive order. Trump passed an order that says U.S. trade deficits are a threat to national security early this month. The resolution looks to reverse this order, which will invalidate some of Trump's tariffs. The Senate could vote as early as today on this, though the chances of it reaching Congress are low due to a rule which protects these tariffs. Mahood Khalil can go forward with his lawsuit, according to a federal judge. In his suit, Khalil says that he was illegally arrested for his political views regarding Palestine. Khalil is staying at a U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement facility in Louisiana. The judge says he would keep jurisdiction of the case in New Jersey federal court. His legal team has motioned to grant him bail, which is still pending. President Donald Trump says his administration can't bring Kilmer Armando Abrego Garcia home to the United States. The Trump administration believed Garcia was a part of the MS-13 gang, which led to his detainment. Trump's administration must help Garcia to the U.S. according to the Supreme Court. But Trump says they do not have the ability since Garcia is in foreign custody. A boat driver involved in a fatal collision with a ferry did not flee the scene, according to his attorney. The attorney's statement is what Clearwater Police said in a social media post. Authorities with Florida Fish and Wildlife says there's evidence the boat driver stayed at the scene for a period of time. The collision left a 41-year-old man dead. No arrests have been made yet. Car manufacturer Stellantis halted its profitable growth forecast this year. The company is struggling to see how the Trump's tariff policies will affect its profits. Stellantis officials said the company expected to make a profit in 2025 in February, though today they said the predictions were based on tariffs that were in place then. In addition to Stellantis, General Motors also says their predictions are not accurate. Ukraine's economy minister is set to sign a deal between Ukraine and the United States. The agreement will grant Washington, D.C. access to untapped mineral sites in Ukraine. President Donald Trump says this deal can be considered as a payment for the U.S. investment into Ukraine. Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky had plans to sign the deal in February, but did not after a tense meeting with Donald Trump. This deal could be the first steps to ease tensions between the European nation and the United States. The EU is a staunch supporter for Ukraine in their war with Russia. For KSTV, I'm Lexi Blatnick.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Welcome back. Looking behind me, I have temperatures across the state of Ohio, and you can see that we are all greatly enjoying some warmer weather as spring turns into summer, slowly yet surely. Up in Toledo, you're going to see the coldest temperature out of all of us, 55 degrees. And going down towards Athens, the highest temperature that we're seeing is 79 degrees. So as the sun goes down, these temperatures are naturally going down with it. But up in the northern part of the state, you're going to see those lake effect winds taking place. Zooming into our neck of the woods, it's going to be a little bit of a similar story here. 50s and 60s all throughout the evening. We are more in the 60-degree range right now, and up towards the lake in Ashtabula, Cleveland, and Sandusky, you're going to be seeing more 50-degree temperatures. Now, staying in Kent, Ohio, and going towards my 7-day forecast, tomorrow's going to be warmer. It's going to be a high of 78 degrees, but there is a 47% chance of isolated thunderstorms. Please do take care when you are walking across campus because of these. Even though that chance is not very high, it is still possible. Into Friday, the temperature goes down, but the chance of storms increases. High of 71 degrees, a low of 53, and a 55% chance of those storms. The rain is going to continue into the weekend, and on Saturday, it's going to get very cold. It's only going to be a high of 56 degrees and a low of 45, and that percent chance of rain is at 70. Into Sunday, the chance of rain goes down all the way down to 43, but so does the high for that day at 55. Going into the beginning of next week, you're going to see that chance of rain continue to go down, and this time next week, the sun will return with a high of 68 degrees. For more details on these patterns of storms, you can always tune in right here with us at KSTV. From the Franklin House studio, I'm Sophia Sonato. Good night, Portage County, and stay dry.
Thank you, Sophia. Now taking things abroad, we're starting with news in the Middle East.
With today's top international headlines, we welcome in our correspondent, Gage Wellman.
Good evening, Gage.
Yes, good evening, Lex and Liv. This week has been busy for news coming out in the Middle East. Starting with Israel, they are seeking international aid to fight wildfires in Jerusalem that have injured at least 7 people. The fires have forced authorities to call for evacuations in several areas and major road closures. Approximately 120 teams are working to relieve the fires, as well as 12 firefighting aircraft units. And staying in the Levant, Israel's ongoing blockade of resources to Gaza has left the region on the brink of famine. For nearly 2 months, Israel has not allowed any humanitarian aid or commercial goods into the Palestinian enclave, the purpose of which is to pressure the terrorist organization known as Hamas into releasing Israeli hostages. Because of this, some international organizations have accused Israel of war crimes. In 2024, global nations spent a combined $2.7 trillion in military expenses. That's a 9.4% increase from 2023, and the most since the end of the Cold War back in 1991. The numbers are courtesy of the Stockholm Peace Research Institute, and they are saying that an increase in spending means more funds for defense will follow. At least 3 people were shot and killed yesterday in a shooting in Uppsala, Sweden. The 3 deaths are being investigated as homicides, as police have not yet notified the families of the 3 victims. The suspect was allegedly seen fleeing the scene of the crime on an electric scooter. A woman from Australia stands accused of murdering 3 people with a meal consisting of poisonous mushrooms in 2023. The woman, identified as Erin Patterson, told the courts the 3 deaths were purely accidental. However, Patterson previously admitted to lying to the police. Today marks 50 years since the end of the Vietnam War back in 1975. Across Vietnam, celebration is being spread in the streets, including a military parade in Ho Chi Minh City. The end of the war was a significant event in the last 200 years of modern history. It marked the reunification of North and South Vietnam. Similarly, this Sunday marks 55 years since the shooting on the Kent State campus, which the Ohio National Guard killed 4 students. For the final time this semester, for KSTV, I'm Gage Wellman.
Who would have thought a harmless prank call would lead to a $350,000 fine? Well, the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator's son made a call, and it did not go as planned.
How's your hair? Is it pretty?
Daddy.
It's pretty.
Maybe I'll fit it. Can you help me?
What you got there?
Will you help my mom?
Hey, crew. I'll give the first move to anyone who signs up to be an organ donor. How do you do it?
Easy. Just go to organdonor.gov.
More donors means more hope. Sign up at organdonor.gov.
Is going to all those live concerts really such a bad thing? Hey, no judgment. But today, 1 in 4 people over 20 have signs of noise-induced hearing loss. So let's boogie and get those ears checked.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma.
made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
I said I'd be back, and here I am. For the last time this semester, let's get into some national sports. If I have any volleyball fans out there, today is your lucky day. Postseason pro volleyball is upon us. The PVF Championship is set to take place in Las Vegas on May 9th and 11th. The tournament will feature 4 teams, the Omaha Supernovas, the Atlanta Vibe, Orlando Valkyries, and Indy Ignite, in a thrilling Match for a Million championship game. The winning team will claim the coveted $1 million bonus. The NFL fined the Atlanta Falcons $250,000 and the defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 after Ulbrich's son, Jax, made a prank call to Shedeur Sanders during the NFL draft. The Falcons were fined for failing to protect confidential draft info. Sanders, who was drafted by the Browns, downplayed the incident, saying it didn't impact him. Cleveland sports fans are heating up, so let's take a moment to get prepared for the action. Starting with Major League Baseball in Game 3 of the 4-game series, the Cleveland Guardians host the Minnesota Twins tonight at Progressive Field. Starting on the mound will be Cleveland's Luis Ortiz opposing Minnesota's Pablo Lopez. The series is tied 1-1 after Minnesota's 11-1 blowout win on Monday and Cleveland's 2-1 victory last night. If you want to catch the action, tune into Cleveland Sports Network after the newscast. After clean sweeping the Miami Heat, the Cleveland Cavaliers are in no way slowing down. Their next challenge to get to the top will be to take down the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers defeated the Milwaukee Bucks 4-1 in their first round series. With the Cavs and Pacers both advancing to the Eastern Conference semifinals, the first game is set for May 4th at Rocket Arena. Well, that's all I have for you tonight and for the rest of the semester. I hope you all get out to as many ball games as you can. Until then, see you soon. For KSTV, I'm Jordan Hiles.
At the end of each semester, we like to take a moment during our shows for the graduating seniors to say one final goodbye on air. So while we're gone, grab some tissues because our Liv Sharp and Sophia Sonato are growing up.
Can you help me?
Mom, Dad, we're going out.
Thank you.
Oh, look, they're playing chess.
What you got there?
Will you help my mom?
She's real sick, huh? Hey, crew, I'll give the first move to anyone who signs up to be an organ donor. How do you do it?
Easy. Just go to organdonor.gov.
You heard them, organdonor.gov.
More donors means more hope. Sign up at organdonor.gov.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
The goodbyes just keep getting harder and harder. I have to say goodbye to my time as a weather anchor tonight. I've done it for 3 semesters, and the first semester I was honored to win Best Weather Anchor, and the second I won the superlative Green Machine. I've certainly taken my time to really enjoy being a weather anchor this semester, and I've really been grateful for everything that I've gotten to experience in this role. I'd like to thank all of the cast that I've gotten to be a part of, the Wednesday newscast with Noah Rowe, the Monday newscast with Joe Malbin, and this semester's newscast on Wednesdays with Michael Neenan. I'm thankful for all of you guys for getting to be a part of this newscast with me. It's been an honor. I also want to thank the crew. Everyone in there is quite literally the backbone of this show. Y'all are the reason that this show happens and quite literally could not go on without you. So thank you. If I don't tell you enough, you guys are awesome. I also want to thank the news directors and the broadcast managing editors that I've gotten to work under, Kennedy Gotham, Sydney Brown, and Lex Rady. All 3 of you have been fantastic leaders, and I am honored to say that I also got to be a female leader with all of you. I want to thank Al Roker because I have stolen so many of his references as my time as a weather anchor, and I hope he's okay with it. Lastly, I want to thank all of my friends and my family. I am really grateful to all of you, especially those that watch me every week. It really is an honor that you get to see me do this in our silly little studio every week. It's going to be sad not doing the weather every week. Liv, what you got to say?
The time has come. I know, I can't believe it either, but I'm graduating in just 10 days. KSTV has been a part of my life for 8 semesters. That's 4 years, and it's been the most unexpected journey. I didn't really want to do anything my first semester here at Kent, but a friend of mine, Josh Aponte, forced me to audition, and the rest is history. I started as a flashcast anchor, and I filled in every single chance that I could. Since then, I've co-anchored, sports anchored, segment anchored, reported. Basically, I've done everything I can except for weather, and I'm very happy to keep it that way. Every semester, I was able to be mentored by the best and brightest of TV2 and KSTV, and over the last few semesters, I've blessed to become a mentor to those who have come after me. I've done some insane things like cover the first ever Guardians home opening, countless businesses opening, and I've broken and laughed on just about every single newscast, and I've had the best time doing it, but I couldn't have done it alone. I have the most wonderful support system, my parents who have watched every newscast, no matter if I was on for 3 minutes or 30, my friends and family who have supported me both on and off air, and my wonderful boyfriend Gio who watched no matter what I was talking about and cheered me on like it was a bottom of the ninth in a Cincinnati Reds game. You are my best friend, and I know the best is yet to come. For those of you who don't know, for the last 4 semesters, I've been the host of Sports Corner, the premier sports show of KSTV/TV2. And while I love news and someday I may return, my heart lies in the sports industry. With that said, I'm thrilled to announce that I have a job. Everybody cheer! Yay! Oh my gosh, I'll be continuing my work with Akron City FC, a USL 2 team based in Akron, and I'm thrilled to announce I've accepted a job with the Lake County Captains, a minor league affiliate of the Cleveland Guardians, as their in-game host. All right, time to read off a really long list of names of people I need to thank. Jordan, Gage, Lexi, it's been a gift to watch you grow in sports and news. I am so proud of all of you. Please stick with us and carry on all of the hard work. Sophia, you have been a steadfast friend since my very first semester. I am so blessed to have you in my corner. Lex, see, I'm much more fun when I'm not a producer, right? You are so talented, and there is not a force in this world that can stop you. Never forget that that is your power. And Mike Neenan, our producer. We started together, and I think it's fitting we end the same. All the best to you, and I'm so proud to call you my friend. To production, thank you for making this my favorite semester ever and rolling with all the punches that I inadvertently may throw. Here's to the future. God bless, and I'll see you around Portage County.
Oh, I said I wasn't going to cry.
No.
I said I wasn't going to cry.
It's okay. I sobbed on Monday. For those of you who were
She did.
So why are you nodding? Did you see? Did you watch? Oh gosh, I was hoping that would just be between me, my family, and the 30 people in the room.
The blurb made me cry last night.
Do you have a favorite memory?
From KSTV?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So fall of 2023 was my first semester as a weather anchor. We do what's called a practice show. And during the Wednesday practice show, we got the giggles so bad.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So notoriously bad. It ended up in the blooper reel. Everybody was talking about it. You say the word Land O'Lakes and Kennedy Gotham loses it.
Yes.
It is hilarious.
It was so funny.
It just reminded me in that moment, I was like, okay, these are some friends that I'm going to have for a long time because we got to giggle and laugh and spend some really fun times talking about, the things that matter most to our community.
Absolutely. Mine, I don't know if you young ones will get this reference, but this is from 2021. That's why I say I don't know if you young ones will get this reference.
I was 14.
Whoa, are you serious?
Turning 15.
I feel old
I
as
might
dirt.
have been 16, 17.
Okay,
I
enough.
feel
Let
old as
me tell
dirt.
my story before we both wither away into nothingness.
Correct.
So I filled in for a newscast of my first time ever filling in as a co-anchor, and I was with Shane Triano, and that was the week that Eastway Chicken undercooked chicken. It was raw, and I had a story, and I looked dead at that camera, and I quoted someone, and I said, "Stop feeding us raw chicken."
I remember.
And I had the craziest break of all time. Also made the blooper reel, was voted as everyone's top moment of the semester. That was legendary. I don't know if you can hear it, but Mike Meenan, our producer, just said that was
Stop
legendary.
feeding us
that
raw
was
chicken.
That was my claim to fame for years. It will be included in my senior goodbye video. Lex, be on the lookout for
Thank
that.
God.
Hey, they stopped
But
if it makes you feel better.
They did stop
They
feeding
did.
you guys raw
They did.
chicken.
You
They
accomplished
also-
something with that.
They
They
recently did just catch on fire.
I was gonna say they stopped feeding people
Easter
raw
did
chicken.
on fire.
See,
Baby steps.
They don't want to
Baby
feed people
steps.
raw chicken, so
Good thing
they
I don't eat there.
burn everything. Yes. Yeah. In my time at Kent State, I've had a bad Eastway meal or two.
Yeah.
I do also want to shout out this group of people behind me because for the second block of the show, I didn't realize how quickly I was supposed to go from one person to another on the floor wall. I said a not nice word. I ran to the floor wall and I got into position. I said, wait, I don't have my clicker. Everyone was playing hot potato with me. Lexi got it and she dove.
I'm not coordinated either, so I might have rolled my
And
ankle.
if I didn't say anything, I'd hope you wouldn't know the difference, but it just goes to show how much we're all here for each other. We're all here to support each other and help each other grow. And I hope this organization never loses that because it's truly so special. This is such a good way to develop as a professional and as a person. I look at the person I was when I first started weather, not even when I first started college, and it's someone completely different. So I really hope you guys take advantage of that personal growth that you will undergo because it is incredible.
Yeah, dude, you became a mom.
I did.
Yeah, Lex is her child.
It
Lex
has
is her
become the
child.
running joke that Lex is my daughter of sorts, and she takes that role with pride.
I do.
We
This
are
woman
sure.
raised me at my time at Kent State.
Well, we often make jokes that, we're the best student newsroom in the country, but I think those of us who are graduating and have seen the evolution of what was TV2, now is KSTV, and have seen the merger of the Stater, formerly Wired, and all of that, this is the best student newsroom in the country. I don't care about
Right.
OU,
Amen.
Syracuse, quote me on that, clip me on that, put me on Twitter, don't care.
Put me on
Kent
Twitter.
Stater TV and Kent Stater are the best student newsroom in the country. We have won awards for it. We have accomplished reporters, both Lex and Sydney, both got awards this semester for their outstanding journalism. There is a reason why this place is so special, and I'm just really thankful that we now get to pass that on to you guys. Can you believe that? My goodness, what a beautiful and sentimental ending. Well, thank you for tuning into this final Wednesday edition of Kent Stater TV News at 6. For all these stories and more, be sure to visit kentstater.com.
And visit our socials at Kent Wired. I'm Lex Brady.
I'm Jordan Hiles.
I'm Lexi Blatnick.
I'm Gage Wellman.
I'm Sydney Brown.
And for the last time, I'm Liv Sharp.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance. So we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Solo stage where the player spends most of it being hunted down by Infinite. The weapon that performed the best here was the Drill Wispen. Its ability to...
He finally is like, I get it now. I get it. I have worth because I'm me. And I really liked it a lot. Like, I'm not...
What are you staring at? How do you know it's me? No.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
The FDA asks questions like, is this drug safe? Does it work